You're listening to the Classic Gamers Guild podcast.
This makes my nipples hard.
Hey there, and welcome to the show. Today, Paul and I are on a quest for glory. Actually, we're on a hero's quest, really, because it was originally called Heroes Quest, see? But then this game, there was this board game, and it had the same name, and so the big company's like, no, and they took the name away from Heroes Quest, and they made it into Quest for Glory. But either way, it's still a great RPG adventure game from back in the late 80s that I've played a lot of times, a lot of times, and Paul hadn't really had a chance to experience it yet. And so we've had enough fans write into us and say, please have Paul play this game, that he finally and voluntarily acquiesced and has played it.
Nice.
Right, Paul?
That was such a pedantically nerdy intro, too, that you had to get that little stat out of the way. We had Ken on the podcast a long time ago, Ken Williams, and he said that he wished that he pushed back harder on the lawsuit, on the threat from Hasbro or whoever had the Heroes Quest game. He was like, that was one regret I had, was not pushing back on that. He's like, we folded too quick. I should have stood my ground with that. Which is
true, because the second game ended up coming out with a different name, and a lot of people didn't realize that Quest for Glory was the second game in the series, and it ended up, Corey had said at one point, quite hurting the sales.
Right, because people didn't know, they didn't want to jump into a sequel, but they didn't realize that they had maybe played the first one. It was just under a different guise, if you will. So before this starts, I just want to make a quick request to our listeners for the Phantom Fellows. Okay, so on Steam, it's got a ton of beautiful, awesome, some of them eloquently written reviews, like some really, really beautiful reviews that have made my days. But because of the algorithm, there's this one negative review at the top. At the very top, the first one you see is negative. Even though it's a mostly positive situation review-wise, they like to put the negative one up there first. So if anybody listening wouldn't mind, I would sure appreciate our listeners' help with this. What you could do if you wanted to would be to rank other reviews as helpful. I'm not saying to give out rewards or to mark the bad one as not helpful, but just marking other one. I mean, do that stuff too. But just marking the good reviews as helpful could hopefully eventually overturn it, so that the first thing they see isn't a negative one, and maybe that they could see all the positive ones instead of the one negative one that just makes my eye twitch in a way that you can probably feel through my voice. Okay, that's all. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, it's good, because it's just like there's like just such a few negative ones, and it's funny how that algorithm works. Yeah, Steam can be
it's
like
hilarious.
That sometimes.
It is laugh out loud.
No,
funny.
so funny.
Sigh. All right, let's quest for glory.
So today, Paul has joined the Famous Adventurers Correspondence School for Heroes.
Ugh.
Right?
Yeah.
And now you've learned what it's like to be a hero. And for me, this is kind of fun, because Paul's not really the type to play an RPG type game. And this is probably the closest I could ever get him to doing so. Am I right?
100%. Yeah, the farthest I will go. I will go as far as Quest for Glory 4, and then that's the abrupt end of my RPG career.
Wow, that's pretty good to hear, because this is, I don't know what Paul thinks about this game. He has played it entirely in silence, only showing me a few screenshots, one of it showing that he finished the game. So I'm kind of like sitting here with bated breath, and I'm hoping you guys are too, wondering what he thinks. And I feel like he's got a lot on his shoulders with this one, because he knows what I think about it, and he knows where he stands with it. And I was hoping that I would show him, through some of the humor and care of the game, how good of a game it was, but he went solo flying on this one. So I really have no idea what kind of interpretation he's going to have from his perspective. So this is kind of exciting.
You guys have no idea how many times Anna tried to play this for me. Like, seriously, she took so many swings.
Do you want me to play it for you?
You can just watch me play. Here, I'm going to play it for you. Here's how you enjoy it, okay? This is you having fun while you play it.
There's so much lore and so much history attached to a game like Heroes Quest. I've got the big box in front of me, the original Heroes Quest big box with free Prodigy, mind you. So, you know, you
Love
get
it.
your starter kit in it. But the creatures in it, like the cheetars, for example, like these aren't creatures that are all in everyday mythology. Some of it is very specific to the series. A lot of what I know about mythology comes from this series, and I would just go around as a kid talking about it as if everybody knew what a Linotar was and all this, and people are just like, "What the heck are you talking about?" I'm like, "Hey, why don't you come over and watch me play this one-player game where I'm the hero?" And they're like, "No, that's okay though. Thank you."
Yes, where you type "look at" to things, and every 3 times you misspell "look" by accident, and you lock at them, and you have to type it again, and it's fun to watch. No, I didn't say anything.
But it's beautiful.
I didn't say anything to Anna. I kept a cold.
He's been ignoring me for days, man. He just won't even talk to me anymore. I'm like, oh no.
Left her just in this
much?
cold unknowingness of like, does he hate it? Does he love it? What's going on? And I find myself backed into quite the corner now because it's such a beloved game to her, but to so many of you guys listening, like that's become clear for how many people have stepped forward to be like, yo, play the game, dude. Like, please just play the game. They're just sick of hearing me say that I haven't played it. Like, so thank you to everybody for the peer pressure. It's as effective now as it was in '96, and I did play the game. But, I'm also in this weird position where with Anna, like probably you guys too, like, you'd know if I was bullshitting you at this point, for how many thousands of hours many of our listeners have listened to me through, I don't know what word to go there. I don't even know the word for the word. Is that like a preposition? Doesn't matter. So I have to tell the truth, and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, so I needed this game to be fun. And so I played it. And I played it slowly. I see I'm still not saying it. And so I played it slowly and carefully, and I played it for a long time. Anna hasn't heard anything, right? So everything I'm saying is also to Anna for the first time. But I think I put in like 14, maybe 8, as many as 18 hours. That sounds like a lot. Probably a good 14 hours, though.
So you did actually play? Because I was wondering at what level your play was at. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, no, I got through it. Like, we almost recorded yesterday because I was like, well, I'll just do another hour and see where I get and blah, blah, blah. But then I ended up spending all day yesterday playing. I played it for, I think, 8 hours yesterday, all the way to the finish.
Hell yes.
Which one of the annoyances I had, there really wasn't many, but was just that I happened to find myself with nothing to do but need the mandrake, and I had just woken up, so that was the longest day, was just trying to get to midnight. But anyway, let's go, I guess, walk through the game. We'll do this so that way it's not all about me and my feelings and how I felt about the game. Let's take listeners through this game, playing it for them as we like to do with our specific game titled episodes. So we'll start at the beginning.
That's a good idea. My husband just said recently you can't punch feelings in the face, but the nice thing with Quest for Glory is you can attack them with a sword.
Right, very good, yeah.
So yeah, you arrive in Spielberg and you're this like nobody schmuck. You're a hero. Supposedly you're a hero, but like you can't prove it. Like you've been to the famous adventurers correspondence school, but you're like, who were you? What was your hero's name?
My hero's name was Ya Dick, because in the very beginning he says, "Good luck, you dick." Man, that was
super suitable. And then you only had to use it one other time during the.
Well, I didn't see it. Oh, when
anyways,
you have to answer a question with "Ya Dick,"
yes,
but you don't actually
dick.
get to see it printed on screen again, which was a little bit of a letdown. But it's fine.
That's good. I made my guy not Devin Aidendale because his name is, as we officially decanonized in our last podcast episode with Lori and Corey and our good friend Josh Koss, is Devin is just the name given for the guide to make it into a story. But really the hero's name is whatever you want it to be, because the hero is you or whoever you imagine it is.
The hero is inside of you the whole time. Not like that.
That's right. So the hero, whoever he's, No, he arrives at the town gates and begins asking, like, what's up? Is there any issues? And he starts talking to people. He's talking to the sheriff.
Nosy guy. Just shows up like, tell me stuff. I want to know all about you. And
Yeah, just like interacts with everybody, goes into the back alley and sees what's up there. And in the daytime, not much, just like a beggar dude. And now, here's the thing. You're the hero, but what kind of hero are you? Because I went through as a vanilla fighter, because I haven't done that in a long time. No magic, straight up fighter. But I don't think you played as a fighter.
No, well, this would be the one thing that you kind of know. I don't think I confirmed to you exactly what I was doing, but I was like, I want to be the thief because, it just sounds fun, like sneaking around and like the idea of breaking in houses. But then I got cold feet about that because I didn't want to be a bad guy. I didn't want to have to like steal from people and stuff. Like I like to, like in Red Dead, I like to play through and get the honor points. I don't like to be a dick to RPGs. Sorry, to NP, another acronym. NGR.
Yeah, because he actually wrote me, and he's like, oh my God, I think I'm second guessing what I'm going to do there. And I'm like, no, you're an honorable thief, and it's okay. And you get to see new scenes that you wouldn't normally see, and I guess that must have convinced you to go ahead.
It did, even though it was somewhat inauthentic, because there was really nothing honorable about any of the times that I stole. I mean, I broke into a poor old lady's home and robbed her blind. Then I broke into the sheriff's house, who's just trying to keep the city safe, and robbed him blind. And I mean, I can't recall actually stealing at any point in which it was noble. But that's okay, because I got to sneak around and break into houses, and that was fun. Now that I'm thinking about it, I didn't pick any pockets.
No, I don't think you can in the first one.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can do it in the later ones. You can even use a blackjack, and you got like other tools you can use, or like a little pocket knife just to cut people's belts and wallets and things.
I did kill myself because Anna's like, something about picking your nose, and it really caught me off guard because I had the impression that it was like a secret that would unlock the door quicker than typing it 3 times, and it just immediately killed me. I was like, God damn, I don't have a save right now.
It will, if your lock picking skill is high enough, you can unlock your nose, and then you can use it as the #1 training tool that gets you the quickest to higher lock picking levels.
Okay. Wow. Would have never guessed that. All right. Well, so we're in town. So
did you actually...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
That's great. No, I'm just saying that's freaking great. That's exactly how that's supposed to work. That makes me so happy. You've already started off good here. This is good. So yeah, you explore the whole town. You're checking out the shop. You're going to the Adventurers Guild. Did you sign the book at the guild?
I did. I signed the book. I looked at the things. I woke the guy up. I laughed at the moose the moose head is property of the Sierra Prop Department. Which is great. Fun fact, I have a moose head hanging in my office area. It's not of an actual moose because moose are terrifying, but it's like a porcelain moose thing. I don't know what material it is. It's probably certainly not porcelain. It doesn't matter. It's the color white. All white things are porcelain, I decided. Anyway, I am terrified of moose. I used to have a recurring dream that I was in a field of tall grass and I was killed by a moose. And I don't know how he killed me because the screen went black in my dream and gave this really sad text saying that I didn't survive the encounter.
Aww.
And it still might happen.
Sorry.
It was a very prophetic feeling dream. So I try to avoid tall grass and Canada.
Right. And things that are chocolate and not too dense.
Nice.
Okay.
Very good.
So yeah, anyways, go ahead.
Well, the town is beautiful. This game was weird art-wise. There were so many rooms I'd never seen before, like in any social medias or like if you're around the Facebook pages and it just, obsessive with adventure games, you end up seeing the screens of all the games, whether you've played them or not. But I had never seen inside of the sheriff's house. I had never seen the outside of the wizard's house. So there were some like fresh scenes, and some of them were really beautiful. I guess what I'm trying to say is the game was... My initial impression was that it wasn't as pretty to look at as I thought it was, because there was so much dithering. Mm-hmm. And it's not like like the Lucas, like Mark Ferrari, like amazing dithering. It's just a lot of dithering. Jesus Christ. But then there's other scenes. Maybe it's just the forest, the monotony of like so many forest scenes. But like downtown looks awesome. That first screen where you see the inn and the sheriff's department and the Barbara, like when you compare that screen to the VGA screen, like I knew all along I'm definitely playing the EGA. It's so much better to look at, so much more fun. But yeah, anyway, you get to walk around town and it's super fun. When the lights go out, well, when the sun goes down at nighttime, that was really cool. It's always kind of shocking, like when you walk into the next screen. And sorry, I'm kind of going rogue. So you have a pace for us. Where are we at?
Well, we're just going around your sort of impression, which is what you're doing. Just your impression of the town, what it was on the first day, what you ended up doing on the first day, if you bought anything, and then what you thought when the sun went down, and if you were in town when that happened.
Right. So I bought, what did I bought? I bought like some apples and a dagger, and I really liked how you could control A to ask about. That was really handy. So I was really struggling.
I use that all the time.
Until I saw that, I was having a really hard time engaging with the game because usually with the parser games you just talk to, and you get information. But talk to doesn't quite work in this game as it does with the other parser games. They really want you to ask, in other words, as opposed to just talk at them. So until I found that in the drop-down menu, I was having a really hard time finding out anything about anyone. By just yelling talk at them, like talk to man wasn't quite doing the trick. Like I think it's not like it declines you, but it doesn't give you more information. You don't even really know their name yet because you have to ask about their name. But anyway, the control I think was cool. You can't ask about Loom. I feel like the game kind of begged for that. I know it's a Sierra game, but it would have been adorable. Actually, I don't know the years that these came out.
It came out before. I think this is like 80. I got the box here. Hold on. 89.
I think that's the same year. I mean, it doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter. Backing up a quick step, the copyright warning is so bitchy. When the game starts, it's so like snarky. It's because it got this like by the way kind of vibe. Oh, and by the way, if you do try, we're a step ahead of you. Nice, thank you. Okay, it was before. Very good.
Did you stay in town for the whole first day?
Yes, I was too scared. I walked out once and I was like, "Ooh, this looks like a big old world. I don't want to. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna get lost immediately. I just want to stick to my little area here and explore that." And so yeah, went in and I talked to Katrina.
Oh, you mean the girl?
Cat girl. The giant feline. Katrina.
No, she's not in the first game.
You
mean the centaur, Hildy?
No, in the inn. In the Hero's Tale Inn.
Oh, the Cata. I see. Yes, the Catas.
There we go. Okay,
yes.
Yeah. Talk to her.
Now I understand.
So there is a Katrina, but she's not. Okay, right. Sorry, I could see I threw you for a loop there. Yeah, went and talked to her and to Abdullah, and talked to all the people. When the lights went out, I have a confusing note here. It says reward.
Yeah, Shima and Shamin. That's who's runs the pubs. Okay. She'll get to dance. If you make it to the second one, Shamin does some dancing. Shima does.
I liked how there's so many really nice things about the sprites in this game. They were like they were the coolest character sprites I think I've seen in this whole era, in the SCI 0 era of games. Like the triumphant smile when he climbs atop something successfully, and with his little square little mouth, it's adorable. And his the crooked smile he gives the healer after she force kisses him and he backs out of the hut, just kind of like this.
I love that part.
It's so good. It's such a good sprite. It's just the sprites were amazing in this game. The way the ghost, the female ghost specifically, the way she twirls in the air just outside of the cemetery is just like the coolest sprite ever. And an awesome use of dithering because every other pixel just wasn't there. So that was really cool for Ghost. But anyway, yeah, back to the first day. I have a note here that makes no sense. Classic past me. Always fucking future me with shitty notes. Rewards kinda was to Abdullah. Terrific. So whatever that means. I wanted to say something
Right.
about Abdullah. I don't know what it was.
Did you buy him a meal? You get points if you buy him
I
a
did.
meal or buy him a drink. Yeah, nice. Because
Yes.
he was real hard up that night. Yeah.
I did, and I gave the beggar money as well. And then I noted too at some point in here that I really like that, because one of the more complicated achievements in the Phantom Fellows is that there's like 4 scenarios. There's 4 different times where you can just do something nice, and it's not something you would never guess. It's like you really. Well, one of them is like the main puzzle solution, but then there's another time where, like, here's a throwaway example I could say without spoiling things. It's like, you know that this waitress is like the town historian and she loves history, and you happen to come across a forgotten map or a map to a forgotten catacomb sort of thing. And if you just think to give it to her, because that would be a nice thing to do, then you get rewarded for that. And I really liked how in Quest for Glory, like it's the same spirit. You get rewarded often for just being nice. In the same spirit that when you're done a conversation with somebody, you can say bye. I really like that. You can just be like, bye. It's like, bye. I really like Carl. I don't want to jump too ahead. We'll wait till Carl is my favorite character in this game now. But
Yeah, I like Carl too.
yeah, Carl was the best. But anyway, so day one, the lights go down. God damn it, the sun goes down, and there's a single white pixel on the barber pole at night. That has to be a mistake, and it drives me crazy. Have you ever seen that before?
I never even noticed. Now I'm going to go look for it. Though. What version were you playing? I played the Amiga version for this.
Das UGA, yeah.
Yeah, nice. That's what I usually play. I just wanted to do the Amiga one for something different.
It's so strange that there's not. So strange. It's so strange that there's not a Apple IIgs version of this game, because they're usually the most beautiful palette-wise. But yeah, maybe that's cathartic to anybody listening that's like seen that and noticed it for years and wanted it to be called out. There is a single white pixel on the barber pole. It's like still illuminated, right, as opposed to the nighttime version pixel that it should be.
That's kind of funny. You know, the whole world there is based. It's like a parallel Earth. There was this interview with Lori a while ago, and she said it's a world that split off from Earth after an arcane force hit in 1 BC. So it's like you've got like French legionnaires, but like D&D aspects. It's just sort of like a weird version of alternative Earth. So it's like a different timeline.
Interesting. I never thought about the mix of cultures in the game too. I mean, besides like Kata, like the mythological mixture. I guess that's obvious, right? With the Toro and things like this, but yeah, okay. So then on the first night, I completely fucked myself and was stuck awake all night because I didn't get a room. I didn't know. I just assumed that if you got a room that you would like autopilot to bed. Which I guess in hindsight, I don't know why I was so sure that's what was going to happen, having never played it before. But it was more, I should have just like saved the game and tried in hindsight. But yeah, it was just like,
you could knock on the door if they were locked. If it's not the middle of the night, they'll still let you in.
Yeah, I try. I must have been too late because I did try to knock on the door. Like, hello, you're an inn. You got a weary traveler at your doorstep. But no, they weren't.
And it's nice too if you're a
plight.
thief. If you're a thief, you can climb into the window usually, I think, or you can climb over the gates just to get into the town. You've got a few more options available to you.
Okay, I tried to climb out of the gate, but the game said that it was like too slippery, and it might have just been courting me to keep trying because I was still catching on to. It was so early in the game, I didn't know that that's how it handled things. Like the lockpicking message is like, oh, it looks easier in the manual. So then I checked the manual, and it's like there's not something I'm missing. I was just because it gave you a really good hint with the thieves in the back alley. Considering I played as a thief, right? So I could show them the thief sign, and that in that case, it was a great hint towards the manual, like, oh man, the manual kind of tells you what to do here. So I looked at the manual and said, show the thief sign. Great. But then there were other times where it's like, it looks easier in the manual, and you go to the manual and there's no real help there. So you're just like, I guess I'll just type it again, and then I'll pick my nose and die, and then try it 3 more times, and then I picked a lock. But anyway, yeah, I was still catching on the game. So I was stuck outside awake all night. I was able to spam rest enough to have, to get it together and get through the night. But yeah, I think that was my first day. I don't think I went to the guild yet, the Thieves Guild yet at that point. Yeah.
Right. How and so you got the password after you showed them the thing. I think one of the fun things about this game is that you can show the thief sign to everybody, and most people just think you have a stomach ache, or they
Right.
make fun of you, or they're like, "Are you okay, son?" And I like that about it.
Yeah, they've accounted for they accounted for a lot. I think this game, it's how did I write it in my notes, which I doubt is any more eloquent than I could just say now, but yeah, I can't even find it. But I feel like this game had like the most like passion project vibe about it. Like there's just so much love in this game everywhere. Yeah, I guess there's probably an argument that Space Quest is similar as far as that's concerned, but there's something about this game, I think, even elevated above Space Quest as far as like this, just this passion project. Like somebody cared deeply about everything and every character, and obviously that tracks for Lori. And I know something I probably never mentioned on the podcast, but having worked for the Coles for a little period of time and listened to Lori create lore for Hero U, like how Tolkien-esque her brain is as far as lore is concerned. Like it's just there's lore for lore. So it's no surprise.
It's true.
Yeah, it's no surprise at all that that every character has a backstory and has love put into it. Just in case you want to discover it.
She totally made the game for herself. I think she said that on our podcast too. She wanted it to be a game that made people think, because she liked to think, and she wanted it to be like hers. So it was an authentic passion project. Like that, she wasn't following any trend. They were creating something that they wanted because it didn't exist yet. And
Right.
that takes a different kind of thinking than just saying, hey, here's a formula, we're just going to follow it and make another game, because they had all the plots lined up for all the Quest for Glory games right at the beginning, except for the third one. They kind of put that in there for story development and things, which is why it can kind of seem like it's a bit out of this world. But the rest of it, the framework was already there.
Right. It feels like that. Yeah, it feels like maybe what I'm trying to say is it almost feels like the most solo developer game, like the most from just one person. And Space Quest obviously has that vibe too because of the two guys, but maybe because there's two guys, there's a divide there. I don't know, but there's just this game feels like one person's heart and soul, and you see that in every aspect of it. There's so many things that are accounted for that just make you feel good in that classic Sierra way.
So, okay, it's tomorrow. We've woken up. You've had your long night of standing and resting and standing and resting. And me as a hero, on the first day, I went around, and I don't even want to tell you what I did because it's so many like spoilers to the whole rest of the game. But I essentially ran around on the first day and did just about everything I could possibly do, and did a whole bunch of fighting. By the time the first day is over, I'm already meeting up with the Dryad and doing all the other stuff. So my gameplay was probably slightly different from yours, but I've probably played this game about 20 times. So for me, it's just literally playing with it and just doing things in a different order with different characters, sometimes hybrid. And my point of view, I don't even know if how valid it is, other than the fact that I love this game so much that I play it every year in a different way.
Yeah, right. So you played like the uber efficient version of the game, and I played the bumbling, lost, and confused "Why can't I sleep tonight" version of the game.
Oh, I'm so excited to hear more about it. Okay, so you wake up by not waking up the next morning, and now is this the day where you venture out of town?
Yes, nervously, because I'm tired and and I don't have a lot of stamina. But yeah, no. Actually, I started this day by going to the Thieves Guild and getting my card and getting stabbed in the chest by walking across the throwing knife, which was awesome.
That happened to you. That happened to Rose's too. I watched Pussy Up Rose's video, and she walks right in front of him, and he's like, boom, down immediately,
so
and it catches you off guard too. Doesn't it?
Yeah, it was I really appreciated that one. That was great. And then I thought I could practice throwing my dagger on the board without telling him I wanted to play Quibbage or whatever the hell it's called. It's not called that, but anyway, if you just take your knife out and try to throw it, he immediately stabs you in the throat because he thinks you're threatening him. But yeah, got my Thieves Guard, and kept trying to get into the stables because I just knew, I don't know where I knew this from. I'm sure it's obviously from you in a past podcast, but like in my head there was this echo of like, you can make money by mucking stalls. And I really thought that the barn was that wooden door in town, and it's obviously not.
Oh.
So I was really hell-bent on getting in there, and I couldn't. Anyway, so yeah, got the Thieves card. I guess, did I do the robberies that night? Yeah, I did rob both houses the first night because I was stuck awake.
Yeah. I wonder if you found everything.
I don't know. I don't know why.
Like you could search the couch cushions, for example, or look inside all of the flower vases, or there's like the secret safes, stuff like that.
I don't know why I had like the balls to be like, I think so at first. Like, why would you think that you did?
And the plant, there's money in the plant too.
I definitely looked in the vases. I got the safe behind the painting.
Did you search the couch cushions? I love that one. It's
I
such
did.
a random one. Good. I love it. Oh, that makes me happy.
I did, yeah. I almost gave up on that one because I kept trying to look. I tried to look under the couch, and then I spelled cushion wrong several times. But I did get that.
It's a hard word. Mm-hmm.
The purse on the couch, I was like, I kept typing headphones, and then I'm like, wait, there wouldn't have been headphones.
Right.
Yeah, there's no electricity. Yeah, the purse.
Did the cat kill you?
Yes, the cat killed me.
Yes.
I thought I had to give it. I didn't realize I had to pet it at first. I thought it wanted. So I thought it was more
like a ration.
I didn't think it was so adorable. Yeah, it just wanted love. It turns out. The bird. It didn't wake her up, but she yelled because I opened the thing.
Because you can go upstairs and like literally walk into their bedroom and then get killed.
Oh, cool! Great. I should have tried that. I didn't. Yeah. It's so weird. Like you know that you can just save it and reload it, and you still get too scared to try things. Where it's like a.
It's intimidating, isn't it? I know.
Yeah, it's like 'cause you're trying to be, I don't know. You're at odds with the self part of you that wants to do the mission successfully too. But yeah, the sheriff looks a lot like Ken Williams, I thought. Especially when you look at the picture frame of him and his wife. I'm like, I think that's Ken and Roberta. Because there's a snarky how much money they have comment when you first get in that house.
That's right.
And that's what put it in my head. So I'm not sure. But once I heard that, I was like, I bet you that's the Williamses. I mean, I shouldn't say the sheriff looks like Ken Williams. He has a giant mustache. So that's just, but it is gray. But anyway.
Close enough.
Yeah, close enough. Robbed him. Music box. I didn't get caught. That was nice. You think you're going to because he comes out to close it, but you don't.
Unless you do it again, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I just stole it. Promptly stole it after that. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, because it's in the game too. There is a reference to Ken if you die in the graveyard. If you got that death message later on, but it's and I used to always think it was about Ken Williams. Because it says, as the ghosts suck the life out of your body and you crumple into dust at the old graveyard, you think unspeakable thoughts of torture and torment directed at programmers, game designers, and vicious artists named Ken. But it turns out it's Ken Nishuyi. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's actually one of the artists. I always thought they just put two Kens on to make fun of Ken Williams' name.
That's interesting because in the end credits it says like the vicious art. Or something like that, like the and then it's like the fun art is Mark Crow, but then like I don't know if vicious was the word, but it might have even been a callback to that death message. Yeah. Then
I bet it is because he probably vicious art probably because he was responsible for the art in the graveyard or something.
Right, or like the deaths or the darker shit.
Did you? It's like all of the Easter eggs, even when you were in the first day in the guild, right? Like you said, the plaque that's like Antwerp slain by two guys from Andromeda, and you're like, oh, there's that cross-referencing we love so much.
Yeah, exactly. In the wizard's house, I can't remember his name. I know it starts with an E.
Erasmus's house. Oh, it's got a ton of those. Isn't that great?
Yeah, that was super fun. I really like when games do that, when they make like a depot for. Like a repository for all of the Easter eggs in one. Like I remember Twisted Tale did that really well too, where you just get this one room just full of like just fun little. Is that what I think it is? And then it pays off. I don't get
Rasmus's house is great too because they kill you off if you take too long and you want to look at all the things.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, if you take too long, he'll come out and say, "Don't dilly-dally," and then he doesn't kill you, but he sends you back out to the bottom at the bottom of the hill again. And if you don't have enough stamina, you're like screwed, especially if you're really tired.
Oh, you need stamina to get to the top of the castle?
Yeah, I'd use
Or,
the
the
stamina.
cliff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that either. Okay, so now's a good time to say that. Okay, so it was the second day. I was out in the woods, and I was getting they were just giving me the business, man. I was dying over and over again with the fight things, and I spent
Because you're not meant to fight.
Yeah, I didn't.
You're a thief.
I didn't know what else to do. Like if you.
You have to sneak, and then they don't even come find you in the first place. And then if they do find you, you run away.
Jeez, okay. I didn't know that. I didn't even think to sneak there.
Yeah.
Because he walks so
That's why you
slowly
talk
when he
to
sneaks.
Anna.
I was like, I did try. I mean, it was way too late. This isn't effectively proving a point because this is the end of the game. But I did try to sneak past Toro, and that didn't work. He saw the shit out of me.
You can. But yeah, it's a pain in the ass, but you can. I know, I hate killing Toro. He's impossible, especially as a thief. Like, how would you even? You
Well-
actually trained up pretty good with your little dagger. Hey there, buddy.
Well, I would love to take that, but you see, the thing is this. So it was on the second day. I have a confession to make here. There was no getting through this episode without making it. Yeah. It was the
Did you
second
switch
day.
to fighter?
No. But I found myself not having fun. I was like, I don't like this fighting. I don't like that I can't get past 3 screens without having to fight. I just don't, like, this is like the anti-RPG thing inside of me coming out too, where I'm like, this is not, I'm not having a good time. So what I did to rescue my experience with the game, which it did successfully, was I drank root beer.
Right.
A lot.
Oh, right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes. So I was like, okay. Jumped on Google and I was like, what's the debug code for this? So I can, because my initial idea was like, I'm just gonna skip around. If I can figure out the room numbers, I can just skip to the rooms I want and not have to fight. But I didn't need to go that far because from cutting room floor, I quickly saw Razzle Dazzle Root Beer, Alt X, and maxed out. So that's what I did.
The first one was Suck Blue Frog. And there's in Quest for Glory VGA, if you pick up a certain amount of rocks, your weight that you're carrying will go back around into the negative numbers, and when you hit it to the right one, I think it's like 146 or something like that, nothing can hurt you and you can't take any damage.
Okay, which one's that for that? VGA?
That's VGA.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Quest for Glory 2 is Suck Blue Frog, right?
Yeah, Suck Blue Frog.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, the first one, if you'd have talked to me, I would have told you that you didn't need to deal with any of that. But that's okay. You found a way through it, and I'm proud of you for being creative.
Thank you. I'm sure that disappoints a certain percentage of listeners, but look, man, this was the only way I was going to enjoy the game. It was. I just don't like RPG games. I get it. I do get it. I think I'm often the one on the podcast preaching to people that you have to put the work in to get the payoff. So I understand how climbing 50 times and then he eventually can climb. I get that. And if this was like the summer of '91 and I had nothing else to do, then I might have climbed all summer. But it's not.
Okay, so now that you are immortal, what do you do with your newfound powers?
Well, I still can't beat that last troll, which was something. You don't have to, so that's good. I think his name is Fred, maybe. But
Yeah, you don't have to actually beat him.
yeah,
no.
you don't.
As a thief, you're not supposed to. You're supposed to sneak by him. Again, as a thief, you don't fight any of them. There is no fighting. You don't have to. In fact, you can throw a dagger if you really want to from afar.
I did do that. I killed Frodo or Foco or whatever the fuck his name was. I killed that little goblin-looking
the dude after the talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
But once I had some root beer, I started
kobold.
really having fun with this game because it was like,
Yeah.
I really value freedom to explore in an adventure game. I guess what I'm saying is root beer turned this into an adventure game, and now it's the game I wanted to play. Where I'm like, I'm not burdened with all this RPG bullshit.
Right.
It's exactly-
So now that you've got the new experience, you were feeling more confident about exploring the forest.
Yes.
So where did you go?
And then I really started having fun with this game. That's when I shifted from let's get this over with for the podcast and we'll just try to focus on the things you did like. That's when I shifted from that to like, no, I want to play this game. I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's a Sierra game I've never finished before, and that's a treasure because like there's a finite amount of those left, like for the, forever. And so I started really having fun. Like I was getting into the story. That I found myself like not rushing through scenes, but looking at everything once again, like I would do in Space Quest or whatever. Like just enter a new room and look, as opposed to enter a new room and like, where's the fucking guy? I do wish I thought to sneak around them, but I still think that I enjoyed the game. I would have enjoyed the game more for this because I didn't have to grind. No grinding. No climbing. But 50
you did
times.
know if you were fighting, you could just type run and run away, though, right?
I'm no Frenchman. There's no...
Right. So, yeah, as soon as the fight scene activates, before anything happens, if you accidentally engage, you type the word run in the keyboard, and he'll literally just run away.
No, I didn't know that either. This game is oddly... what would you say?
You need an instruction book, for sure. Did you read the book?
I just made the sound I make when I'm trying to think of an Italian word. That was weird.
That's funny.
Allora, it was oddly like sensical. Like there's just like okay, one of the best potential deaths in the game is when you get stuck in a loop rolling off of that MC Escher drawing. At Fucko's house or whatever, Yorick's house.
Yorick's.
And I love that you can type stop, right? Like that's what I mean by oddly sensical. So I don't know. I think I'm just kind of slow. It took me a while to catch on to some of this stuff, but now that you say that you could just, if you type run, you can do it. It's more merciful than a lot of Sierra games are.
It is.
There's a lot more like accounted for and things like that. Yeah. It's not so just black and white that you can or you can't. Like there is little like you can almost negotiate with the game. There we go. That's
like,
an articulated
for example,
point.
the Antwerp. If you bother the Antwerp, it'll fly up in the sky and then it'll come down and kill you randomly. Like if you try to like mess with it. But if you like raise your sword up at the right time just before it lands, it'll like break it up into a bunch of little tiny Antwerps. And you can do it in the VGA version. Cool. And just these little tiny details of like, and I think the Phantom Fellows has a lot of those too. Like you say, it doesn't actually change the plot. You posted about that the other day. You know, you can look at the stars and interact with the stars. It doesn't actually do anything for the story, but it makes the whole world come to life, and it shows you more about it and gives you another window into the world. And I think Quest for Glory has a lot of little bits like that. Exactly
right. That's the spirit behind my notion that it has this passion project vibe to it. It feels very personally made by somebody who cares deeply about every little thing in the game, and I couldn't help it. Yeah, but. I don't know, not compare, but just, understand where Lori was when she made this game thinking of Phantom Fellows and the little details, like you said, like talking to a star to wish upon it or whatever. And yeah, this game just has exactly the same thing where I could see why you replay it often because there's, at least for the first 8 times, there's probably new things that you can find every time by just trying something a little different.
Oh yeah, and I'm way past 8 now, honey.
Well, when right, yeah, and then okay, I'll save that. So let's see, where are we? All right, Sheriff is Ken. Avoid Kiss Sprite is good. Castle was a new screen for me. It was very exciting.
Oh yeah, so avoiding the kiss. So you got how did you get the thing out of the bird's nest? How did you figure that out?
That I did grind for that because I hadn't had any root beer at that point in my playthrough yet, so I just climbed the tree over and over again until I could climb up it. Is there another way?
I mean, you can do that, or you can throw rocks at it until you knock the nest down, but then that ends up breaking the nest, and then the bird has no nest anymore.
Oh, well, I'm not a monster, so I climbed up the tree.
You did the nice way,
right? No, I didn't know that you could throw the rock, but yeah, no, I just climbed the tree like 16 times until he climbed it. Good old F3.
Right. Yeah, that works. How did you get the spore spitting thing then?
The spore, I climbed up the rock and I eventually made my way towards catch thing.
Oh,
and then he stands there with his
that's what you did,
yeah. Yeah. What else?
You can throw a rock at it too, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Throw a rock.
I didn't throw a rock at anything.
Or if you're a magic user, you can shoot a spell. You didn't throw it. You can pick up pocket full of rocks and throw it at all sorts of shit.
I had no idea. Where do you get the rocks at?
You just say pick up rocks anywhere outside.
Okay. I did figure out flying water, and I was quite proud of that.
Oh, hey, well done. Did you see the Easter egg there at the flying water? Is it every couple of screens? If you walk in, you'll get a little submarine from
the
Kodman
Iceman,
VonStarnes,
yes.
and it'll pop up. Yeah.
I think I knew about that, but I did get it myself.
Yeah, yeah. So you did some good adventuring then after everything opened up again. Those were kind of the first places you went.
Yeah, there were 2 days that I had to pass time, and I knew that just scripting wise that it, you know, there is no timer in even in, I was gonna say in these old games, but even in AGS. I mean, you can set timers, but not like a, you know, that's a different kind of timer. But the point is like, you know, you can't track like a real world clock and then assign, you know, commands to that. So it's like it has to be an event based situation that's forwarding the time. Scripting wise, like it just had to be. So I basically I took to transitioning rooms back and forth and things like that, which was cool because that's, I think, how I found the Iceman one, was just going back and forth. And I just happened to be at that room at that point I got into a rhythm of like backtracking through every room twice. Because you don't want to just back and forth over and over again because it's not stimulating and it takes a long time. So I would make my way towards where I wanted to go, but I would like, you know, enter a room, exit it, enter it, and then keep walking. Enter, exit, you know, trying to pass time because this was the day that I woke up and the only thing I had to do that day, well, the only thing that I knew to do because there wasn't a whole another thing I didn't know about, but I didn't know that I had to go into the Troll's Cave. I don't even think I had seen that room yet because I would have, if I had seen a cave, I would have tried to have gone in there, right? But
Did you see the Dryad yet? Did she come out of the tree and talk to you yet by this point?
By this point, yeah. I just skipped way ahead too because it was like the end of my gameplay pretty much was that Mandrake thing. But for the purpose of what I was saying, that was the day that I had to just waste a whole day and get the time to pass.
Right.
Yeah,
because Baba Yaga, what happens is Baba Yaga captures you and turns you into a frog and wants to make frog legs fricassee, which became quite an in-joke in my house. I would often say, "Oh, Dad, can we have frog legs fricassee for dinner?" And he'd be like, "Only if you become the frog." And it was just a little back and forth thing that we do, and I think it's cute. But yeah, and then she's got her little pets, right? She's got her little batty pet and her little spider pet, you know, her little pretties. And I love how she uses them for an audience with her whole theatrical parade that she does with the hero. It's such a great show.
I love how they make
and I
them
love
laugh.
It's right, the little jiggling around. And I mean the skull bonehead, now that you finally met him, isn't he dreamy?
Yeah, he was good too. He was quite fun actually. I really enjoyed him. I like how he says bye halfway through his animation.
Yeah.
Or good luck or something like that. Yeah, that was really funny.
Yeah, he's good. And it's nice too because as the games goes on, you get to accessorize him a little bit more.
And at one point, it was when you turn into a frog, but just one of the narratives made me laugh because it was like, you make little froggy noises. It was so cute.
I know you're trying to respond and you're trying your best to actually give her a response, but all you can do is croak it out and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
you make little froggy sounds, it says. And there was a really
bad...
Yeah,
they're like...
Go ahead.
I was just saying no, you have to say your thing first.
What was that? One of the worst jokes in the game that landed that was really good was the hold on, dang it, because I didn't write it down either. Sorry guys. It was
it's gone now.
Yeah, it was the frog. Oh, what's the matter? Is your throat a frog or something like that? Like instead of frog got
caught in your throat or something.
Or yeah, what's the matter? Is your throat of frogs something? I don't know. The point is like you actually have a frog's throat as opposed to frog got your throat, and it was funny. Sorry, I just.
So yeah, she sends you off, and she's like, you have to go and get the root from the mandrake root from the graveyard, and it's funny because if you've never played the game before and you don't really comprehend the concept of getting it in the middle of the night, you just go, sure, no problem, and then you go off to the graveyard and you pick the mandrake root and it disappears in your hands and you kind of have an issue.
Yeah, I looked up help for this one because she said that you had to get it at midnight. And in my head, I'm like, this game has not given me the slightest bit of an inclination as to when I would know it was midnight. And I didn't want to fuck this up. Because it was the second to last thing I did. So it was at the end of my gameplay. I had been grinding it out all day. I mean, that's not true. I was having fun with it all day, honestly. But yeah, I was like, I don't want to fuck this up, especially because it took me all day to get to nighttime. So I did look up what to do for that, and I was told that when he says you're getting tired, that's exactly when it's midnight. And I was like, okay, got it.
Yeah.
And I still fucked that up several times, even after knowing it, but I eventually got it.
Did you try getting it to it without the undead unguent?
I did.
Because
yes.
then it comes up and the zombie kills you, and you're like, "What do I need, a scarab?" Because you're thinking King's Quest, right?
Yes, exactly. I thought the undead unguent was like brings you back to life once or so. Like I had no idea. I didn't make the connection at all that it was that it was even something I would be interested in.
Yeah, it's funny that way, isn't it? I like how it leads you to that. And did you sell any of the mushrooms to the healer?
I did. I sold her all the things. I sold because I sold her the cheetah claws. Yeah. The troll's beard. It takes a long time to find a troll in that game. I was looking for one like the whole game, and it wasn't until the last few days that you actually see one. The ogre was oddly easy to beat, especially for a thief. But I thought that I was like really like prepped for that battle, man. Like I had like, like a save game ready to go. I was like kind of cracked my knuckles. Like, all right, here we go. This is going to be like boss level shit. And he was a terrible fighter. Stabbed him like 6 times. I don't even think he landed anything on me, and he died. And you get to go in the cage. And the bear was so well done. I love the art of the bear. I mean, because they make the bear with like 2 colors. Cindy, I forgot her name. I'm pretty sure it's Cindy something who did specifically was assigned to the cave art, according to the credits, which I thought was unique and cool as it is. Like they had an artist just for the cave scenes, and man, she was on. It looks so good in there. And the bear
I love
just
the
being
kobold. He's so intimidating. Oh, too. And
how do you
the bear's
say that?
Intimidating. Kobold.
Okay. Yeah, he was scary.
Kobold. Yeah. They were all scary. That whole thing's scary. And then you figured out what to do then? How did you get, I guess you probably didn't find the secret chest in the kobold's room then.
I did.
Because as a thief, you can disarm the trap so it doesn't kill you when it blows up. But as a fighter, you just have to take the damage.
Okay, I didn't have to do. I was looking for a south exit in the room, and the game was like you just walked into something, and then somehow it's made known. Oh, you
used Razzle Dazzle root beer. If you opened it up and it exploded and it didn't kill you and you weren't ready, it's probably because you had the cheat on.
But it didn't explode.
Otherwise, it would just explode.
It didn't explode for me.
It does though.
It does?
Well, it doesn't. It's a trap. It's a trap that springs when you open it, and you would have taken damage. Yes, absolutely.
I don't remember reading that.
There is no other way to get into it. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the trick, because as a thief, you can pick the lock, disarm the little thing, do the thing.
But I did pick
as
the
a
lock.
fighter, you have to. So if you picked the lock, it would have opened nicely. Yeah, sorry, the fighter brute forces it, and it explodes on him. Yeah. The magic user has to use open from afar, but the thief, you can pick the lock and then it won't explode it on you. And it's got lots in it, so you're really quite rich, especially after you deal with the bear and you go see the Baron.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Right. Thank you. No, that makes it make sense now. Right. Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure the game makes it known that it's like a chest or something that made me think immediately to pick a lock. Like, okay, this is a locked thing. And yeah, so that was all pretty intuitive.
I'm glad you found it. That's really cool. I was worried you would have totally missed that. And then you take his little mushrooms. It's as a thief, you can actually sneak into that room, sneak up, get the mushrooms and steal it from him, and then sneak to the chest and disarm it, take the thing from it. He wakes up and you can run out of the room and you don't have to kill him at all.
Wow. I'm so disappointed in myself for not having to thought. I just never thought to...
Not having to ask Anna anything about playing one of the most difficult characters in the game. Yeah, weird.
I was obstinate in...
This is the time you've chosen to be secretive.
Yeah.
Usually you're like every step of the way, you're like, hey, Anna.
Exactly. No, I was obstinate in trying to get like the what would you say, like the pure experience, the unaided unaided playthrough. Like I'm gonna figure this all out, even though I did not, to a degree. I mean,
It's okay. I'm still going to make you watch me play this game, obviously.
She's gonna.
You can't get out of it, I'm afraid. It's just going to have to happen.
The bear, that was tough because I didn't see the shackle around his thing for a while. Oh. And we got him.
Did you help the fox? Did you free the fox?
I did, yeah.
Aw, wasn't that sweet? And then you get some information about Baba Yaga.
That's right, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, freed the fox, followed the stag. I mean, separate things, but you get the point as far as woodland creatures you happen
the seed.
upon.
And you talked to the meeps. Weren't they adorable?
They were. Okay, so then my note for this part is that the what I previously found gatekeeping about the series turned out to be quite a positive, because it was actually really nice it felt like you were finally meeting celebrities or something, like finally oh, this is the these are the famous meeps. Everybody knows the meeps except for me, and now I know. I joined the ranks of those who know the meeps. Yeah, that was cool. Even to see Kata, because I thought she was Katrina, so I'll just whatever. I'll just give that to myself.
Katas are good. And you danced with the fairies. I was so excited for them to kill you. Did they kill you?
No. How would they kill you?
If you don't listen to them and you don't give them what they want, they'll start getting mad at you, and then they'll make you dance until you die from dancing.
Oh my God.
They're like, dance, hero, dance. And it's so awesome.
I'm too high in agreeableness for that. I'm like, you want me to dance? I shall dance for you then.
Yes, but no, it's anytime you do, or if you step inside their mushroom ring at nighttime when they're there, they will kill you.
Oh, wow. That's hardcore. Okay. I feel like that could have happened by chance or by accident. It just didn't. Like if I was entering the room from the north, that might have happened.
There's a lot of like dancing in the series. Because it's sitting right at the top of the screen, right?
Yeah, well, it's funny because you sent me like a little Reddit reaction of him doing the I'm guessing, because you're like, now you get this, and I didn't shit on it at the time. I will now. but I still I can imply what it means, but I still don't really get it. Is that what he does after he says I'm bad when he kills the Toro? Because it has a Michael Jackson-y vibe to it.
Yeah, I don't even remember what I sent you now.
That's okay. I think he's doing like a little Michael Jackson
little
kick.
Dance.
Like a little...
Yeah, and he sticks his like hand up and does a little thing, maybe. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess my point is...
I don't know. I don't like it when he kills Toro.
When he killed Toro, I was in sneak mode. So it did this weird thing where he did like half of a dance move, and then it immediately switched to like the sneak sprite. And I was like,
that's funny.
Even without seeing your thing, I was like, I feel like I was supposed to get an animation I didn't get there. Ooh, another little thing that I found that I'm guessing you've probably seen by now, because you're good at finding bugs in general, is in the room that the girl is kept in. I can't think of her name. There's a broken
Which
walkable
girl?
area.
Oh, you mean Elsa at the end of it?
Yeah, Elsa. Thank you. Yeah. Sorry, I know I'm skipping here just to highlight this bug, but yeah, at the very end, in the room that you find Elsa in, there's a broken walkable area. You can walk like through and then therefore over a crate in the top right of the room.
Yeah, I didn't even learn about that stuff much until the speedrunners started attacking that game. I mean, in a good way. I mean, because a lot of the key to finishing the game is figuring out how to do that in the last screen, right there.
Oh, interesting. Okay, cool.
There's some funny framework in that game too. But again, that's what the speedrunners do. They manage to find every single everything in every pixel. So I'm impressed that you found it just by playing it normally.
Yeah, I was trying to like exit on the top right. I didn't know where the exit was, so I was just looking for.
It's the awkward room for that. Yeah.
Yeah,
it
like
is.
in between the things. So I tried the top right, and then once the top right didn't work, I just walked straight down, and he just all of a sudden goes through the walkable and on top of the crate.
Okay, so you mentioned about the flying water, so that means you visited the hermit. Now, isn't he adorable?
He is. They did a great job of spelling Cockney.
I know. And the music, right? I love the little music in that room so much.
Yeah, he is adorable. He's got, I don't know. He reminds me of, it's got, not Thing, because that's just like a giant, it doesn't matter. Yes, I really liked him. I really liked his little Cockney words. I was marveling at how well how well written it was to get you to feel like I'm trying to think of an example I've had. I think it was like Favre or something where they would put in the rolled into that. They put in the like an R or like no, that's not right. Point is they knew exactly how to get you to say it in his accent.
They definitely did. And the music was great, and he's offering to play cribbage with you, and it's just such a cute little... Now, if you are a magic user, he'll give you a spell. You ask, and he'll be like, oh, I just have this thing lying around. Maybe you might want it. Kind of like at Arena's piece, which we haven't talked about yet. If you're a magic user, you get spells. You get to cast open on things and bring out scrolls and do things that you couldn't do as any other class. So there's lots of cool hidden stuff.
So I did get a scroll from the hermit, and he gave me a magic thing, a spell.
Yeah, you can't do anything with it though. You're just like, thanks, bud, and then you're like, nice piece of paper, throw it in the backpack.
Because of Root Beer, I did have magic skill, so I probably could have used it, but I never did.
Oh, that's why he gave it to you. Yeah.
Well, he gave it to me because I asked. That I had to ask.
Well, no, if you don't have magic, he won't give it to you. He'll just say, "Oh yeah, I have it," but for the likes of you, it's not going to do you any good.
Right,
so I didn't expect him. I forgot you had the stats from that because like for example, in some character classes, you can only you can't climb, but you can throw rocks or vice versa. So there's always things you can and can't do that gives you different challenges. Yeah,
that's fair. Because before the Root Beer, I remember Zara being like, "I don't have anything for you." Like, in other words, you're not a magic user.
Nothing.
Yeah.
How did you figure out the apples? Giving the big app to Broggy.
I don't remember. Well, I guess it was just that...
Because you had to...
Because you need 10 of them, right? Or a lot of them.
No, 50.
Oh, 50,
yeah.
Okay. Wait... Yeah, or do you buy
which is 10 times buying
Okay,
them.
Right. I was going to say, I don't have to type it 50 times.
No, you only had to type it 5 times.
I forgot. He gave me some sort of hint. Maybe it was just a matter of him rejecting rations and I had apples on me, or does he hint that he wants fruit?
Yeah, he wants fruit to fill his big hands, and if you give him some apples, he'll be like, yeah, but that's not enough to fill my big hands.
And then that's the lead in to just go get as many apples as you can.
Right.
Which when I didn't think to sneak around Frodo or whatever his name was.
I'm going to let you call him Frodo anyway.
So I went to the store and bought 50 daggers. And I'm just going to throw all the knives at him until he goes away. Which was effective.
That's funny. Yeah, because you would have had lots of money too, so you didn't care.
Well, the cheat doesn't give you money. It just gives you stats. But I had okay. Here's the payoff. The Root Beer doesn't give you money, but it does anytime you type it does re-up your health. So you don't need to buy food. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I guess you don't really need to buy food anyway, as long as you eat at Uranus Peace at the start of each day, right?
Yeah, or eat a ration, or you can eat at the inn, but
they all cost money though. But Uranus fruit is free, and if you just eat that at the start of each day, you don't need to buy rations. Is that correct?
I never thought of that. That's kind of how you run your life anyways. You're like one big meal a day, you're good to go. I mean, you just made the game conform to what you do in life. That's really smart, Paul.
Actually, it's just kudos to the game for offering that to that lifestyle option for those who like to torture themselves with fasting until they do that, which I've suckered into too to a degree.
Yeah. Well, not fully. I've just been not eating after 6 and then not eating again till 10 or 11 the next morning.
Yeah, it
which
counts,
is,
man.
I mean, timing wise, that is a lot of hours of not eating, especially compared to before. And I've been going to the gym and going swimming before I start eating again. And I'm not as hungry as I thought I'd be. I'm not rushing home starving at all, actually.
Yeah. What's interesting because it's even if there's I for the audience, I eat from 7 until 11 at night, and it's you would think that you would just cram it all in while you can, but that you really physically can't. You have
I found that too. You never have time to have enough food. Even in the window, what I have is bigger. It's what is my window has been 11 to 6, 11 to 12, 12 to 1, 1 to 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 5. See, that's almost 7 hours. But I'm I barely have time to shove any food into that because I'm busy.
Yeah, right, exactly. Especially now that I'm back in the dev hole with the next game. It's like that your hands are so busy the whole time. I looked up last night and like I ate at like 7, and then I looked up at the clock and it was like 9:30. And I was like, no, damn it, all my eating time is gone. I need to like just sit here for a second. Okay. Anyway, I'm looking through my notes.
So yeah, we did that. Now we went to Erasmus's house. Now you must have noticed, I mean, I guess if you use the root beer cheat, you might have had more for you, because technically as a thief, Erasmus doesn't have very much for you, and he's not really a big fan of thief signs and things like that. In fact, if you end up going to the house twice, the gargoyle will ask you a question about, do you know what the thief sign is? And if you say yes, he'll say, no thieves allowed here, and he'll send you back down, which is so great.
Yeah, that was so great, yeah. Yeah, that was super fun, especially as a thief, where you quickly realize like, oh shit, that makes perfect sense. I should be saying no. I'm pure.
Yeah, especially if somebody asks for it, then you're like, hang on, he didn't do the thief sign, he just asked for the thief sign. Super sus. But you got upstairs and they're playing the game. So if you were a wizard, you'd actually be playing a game with them, and it takes you to a special game map. And there's all these like little blockages that are along the way on this map. And you need to use different spells that you've learned over the course of the game to get through it, to do what you need to do with that. But you don't have to do any of that as a thief, of course.
Right. But still, I appreciate the amount of different, that you really can have 3 somewhat unique gameplay experiences by choosing the 3 different characters. I think that's really cool.
Imagine having to play the game again. Hint.
Right. Jesus.
Yeah, I did it once, okay? Oh my God. But that's the key. You have to play it 3 times with 3 different character classes so that when you go to the second game, you can import them. And what's nice is you import, your money, your inventory, your character. Like it all gets imported. Yeah. It's not some partial import. It's like whatever you're holding on to, except for various reasons, but only due to storyline in one of the later games. You do not end up having all of your inventory items.
It's so brilliant. It's one of my favorite things that Sierra ever did. The entire idea of that. Just watching at the end screen when they like put a floppy disk in and we'll save your characters for the next game, and just imagining how that was programmed, and it's just super cool. I really like that.
So yeah, if you're a magician, you'd be gaining lore and kind of magical insight and stuff. But otherwise, you're just going up there to meet him and his riddling rat, which I loved them. If I was to have another rat, I would definitely name him Fenris.
Right, I can't believe that your previous rat's name was not Fenris.
I know, why was it Reepicheep, Wixie, Brock, Topi, Smokey? Like, none of those are the right names.
How many rats have you had? Now. Were those all rats you've had?
I had lots. Those were all rats I've had, yeah. I like rats.
Were they pets, or were they just,
they were
around?
They were very much pets. And George was cute because George was hairless and George was a girl, so I named it after like the main character in Dead Like Me. So just this like absolutely adorable little thing.
It's weird, man. We all like rats unless they have a tail.
Right.
Like hamsters are cool, guinea pigs are cool. As soon as it's got a tail, it's like, ugh. Weird little hairless tail.
Yeah, no, I love them. I only had to get rid of them because my ex ended up being allergic to their feces. He ended up getting all these full body rashes, and we couldn't figure out why.
Wow,
and we didn't get rid of them. Actually, we found a foster family who already had rats and was willing to take them in and give them a good home. So I care. I love rats. When we had rats at our workshop, we caught and released over 30 rats. We would take it to somebody else's problem and release it there.
Huh. I can't afford to love rats. I tried. They're very adorable. For me, it's mice, but I live on a field, and so if I'm not constantly dealing with them, then I quickly have a field mice problem in my house. So I have to be cold and unloving. But man, that's hard to do once you learn that mice are capable of laughter.
Aw, and I don't know if you've ever read the book Witches by Roald Dahl or seen the movie.
The movie for sure. Gross to the book. I don't know why I would read the book when there's a movie.
But in the movie or the book, the mice, he trains the little mice to be able to walk tightrope and do all sorts of cool things. And of course, later on, the main characters get turned into mice. Speaking of which, totally off topic, but I absolutely love how at the end of that story in the book, not the movie, they find out that the child is going to not be able to turn back into a human and is going to stay a mouse forever. But because the grandma smokes big cigars, she's not going to live that much longer anyways. So in the end, they rejoice because they both have about the same lifespan and wouldn't want to live without each other.
Wow, it's dark and sweet at the same time. Yeah.
It's the movie didn't do that.
Jesus.
In the movie, I think he got turned back into a boy.
I kind of wish storytelling was more like that nowadays. So the proclivity to force the happy ending is a little frustrating sometimes. I think that's nice when there is like a weight or like a price to have paid for the story. But yeah, no, I just referenced the movie-wise the kid who the ignorant kid who doesn't realize that they're fattening him up.
Right. Bruno, yeah.
Yeah, Bruno. Yeah, anyway. Okay, so where the hell are we?
Well, right now, what we've done is we've just freed the Baron. We found out the bear is actually Bernard, who is the son of the Baron. So you return him to the castle, and you've built trust with the whole community. At this point, he's giving you like 50 gold, and he's saying, "Oh my God, like you've changed my life." Because all of these tasks are set up at the Adventurers Guild. There's this like little wall, and there's one of these in all of the games where you can kind of go up and see what people are looking to buy and what quests there are, and kind of what people are looking for. But you realize, of course, after this, that you need to uncover the brigand hideout and rescue Elsa, who we keep hearing these rumors of her being the daughter of the band, but we don't truly understand. And we don't even really know that we're rescuing Elsa so much as taking down the leader of the brigands. Of course, they're a little bit tougher to fight than the goblins. It's a little bit more work. But what happens is it's kind of neat. Like they do this whole setup because there's a note and you get it out of the tavern. And it's like, hey, we're going to meet up at this time. And then you go to the archery range, which I don't know if you noticed, Paul, it's kind of hidden. It's kind of hard to find how to get into the center of the archery range because it's a bit of a mind fuck, right? The mapping in that area, because it doesn't fully make sense. But anyways, you're overhearing them and you learn that like there's a password, the hidden, I used to always call it hidden Goseki because, you know, it's supposed to be hide and go seek, of course.
Oh, are you serious?
That's fun. Yeah, no, for real. I always called it hidden Goseki.
No, are you serious that it's hide and go seek? I guess it is, huh?
Oh, it is. Hide and go seek.
Jeez Louise. Okay. Like you think you're doing all right in the world. You think you're a pretty smart guy. And then you find out that's hide and go seek and that you could just sneak around things because you're a thief and you didn't think to do that like one time.
Well, it's like Euland's Flats. Right? Like, I did not clue into that.
I got that because it's farts, but yeah, okay, all right.
And I didn't, okay, till I was a grown-up, and I kind of am a little sensitive about it.
Okay, so. That's fair. Well, this will be my Euland's farts, flats. Bleh. Sorry.
So you get into there, though, and all of a sudden, you've got, like, the Antwerp is past, you've passworded your way into, like, a hidden wall, and then you have to either fight or sneak past Toro. Poor Toro. He's still there. He's even in the 5th game, and he's very sweet. He goes, "Nice hero man. Hero man come to play." He's very cool. I like Toro.
Okay, that's why you have weird amount of empathy for him, right? Because you're like, I really like him.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of character in the first game to fall in love with. You know, to be like, I just disproportionately love this guy. But okay, that makes sense. When I saw Toro, I was like, oh,
hero man.
So you guys do know how to draw a Minotaur.
This ain't no King's Quest 6 around here.
Look at the proportions in the scale. He's menacing and foreboding. But yeah, okay. Drop that ball.
Okay,
hard.
so now I need to hear, what was your feeling on the Brigand Fortress when you came inside? Not quite at Yorick's. First, there's like this little maze thing you have to travel past, and then you get to Yorick's room. And I need to hear what you think of it all.
Okay, well, I'll quickly back up and say that when you hear Bruno and what's his face talking about the leader, well, I guess the original seed for that is planted by the centaur, right? That's the horse one, not the bull one. Right, the centaur. Yeah. One of my notes just says, everyone's so nice. Because everyone in the game is so nice. Like, everyone's super pleasant. Obviously, there's the bad guys, but like for the most part, everybody's
Yeah.
like very nice to you and accommodating and like, here, oh, you know, you need some green fur, I'll just fucking rip some off and give it to you.
Yeah, right off my body. There you go, bud.
And the centaur is like just super kind. He's got this like wisdom about him, especially in the way his sprite is drawn. I really like the centaur. I guess like you do Toro, I feel disproportionately attached to the centaur, but he kind of he plants the initial seed, saying that the leader stepped forth to oddly enough save his life, and you're like, that's weird. That was a great like story twist there, where it's like, this is weird. Like they're super bad, they're ruthless, they rob, they steal, they pillage, they don't care, but the leader is the one that has compassion. Like, why is that? And then fast forwarding back to where we're at, so then you hear Bruno and what's his name talking about the plans and blah blah blah, and you hear them saying that she is the leader in this and that. So you're just like, oh my god, okay, so the leader is Elsa. In that moment, it kind of connects, and I really fell in love with the idea of that. I kind of forgot momentarily that she was a child when she was taken, so I kind of fell in love with the idea that she decided to be bad. I thought that was kind of cool. Turns out that's not the case, because then that's on me. That's my bad. I forgot that she was a kid when she was taken and that she had a spell on her as well. Didn't diminish from it. It's still a cool plot twist, I think. But yeah, having that little aha moment of like, oh my god, the kid is the leader of the brigands. And then I died like 50 times. That whole archery scene was really difficult because the timing was difficult. Every time I kept getting into fights right when it was noon. And because I didn't know you could sneak or run. And so like I kept having to reload to save like a few minutes before noon so that I could make it there on time. And then when you walk off the screen, you keep getting a dagger thrown at you by Bruno. And anyway, that was all quite difficult.
How did you pass the Three Stooges room?
Okay, so the room with Yorick, right?
Well, even though the room where the chandelier, you had to close the door, and there was the chandelier, and the three guys run at you.
Oh! I looked up help for that. Yeah.
Okay, because those were the Three Stooges. Yeah.
I gave it a long time. I really did. And honestly, even once I was told exactly what to do, first of all, I wasn't that far off.
It's the timing.
But it's the timing and and exactly where on the table you're supposed to climb was that's.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have needed the walkthrough help if it wasn't for that. And in hindsight, the walkthrough didn't even help me. It just told me, yeah, that's the thing you're supposed to do. It's just really hard. But at least just knowing that was the right thing to do, reinvigorated my motivation, because that was really hard.
It was funny though, right? Once you got it, it was funny, wasn't it?
I really liked it. I don't think I thought of it as funny. I thought of it as like heroic. Like he like swings and takes out all the guys. What do you mean by funny? What do you mean by Three Stooges? I guess
they're based on the Three Stooges. It's funny because the whole scene is
call you
funny
a
because
wise
it's
guy.
Larry, Curly, and Moe. Yeah, and so you're taking out the Three Stooges.
Dude, I totally missed that.
That's what's funny.
It's funny because I remember taking a break to get a water, and in my head I was like, "That's funny." He called me a wise guy. But I took it as like a mafia wise guy, not as a Stooges one. Like, what are you, a wise guy? And I thought it was weird. Like
it's
it
like the
felt
Marx
off
Brothers.
theme.
Yeah, it's in the next game. The Marx Brothers feature heavily too.
Okay, I'll have to open myself up to modern pop culture a little more. No, well, not modern, but or modern.
Modern.
Old people.
Okay, so you get the thing and you die a bunch of times and you get past that and then you end up in Yorick's room of Funhouse Hell.
Right. Which is, I really appreciated the MC Escher reference. That was cool. I love MC Escher, so that was fun for me as a little fanboy of his. That room was super fun. That room was
Wasn't it great?
Yeah, that room almost it gave me a vague, undefined inspiration for future stuff. Where it's like, for my own development, where it's just like, a puzzle could just be navigation, right? It was like a navigation based puzzle where the difficulty or the thing to figure out is simply, it's just navigation based. I really like that. Like I like those. I like those kind of unique. I don't know. It's a really unique puzzle, I guess. So I'm trying to say, words are hard.
It is, because it's only through trial and error as well that you can figure out. Because he's not technically giving you hints per se and stuff. I think it's a really fun puzzle. It's a live working puzzle happening right in front of you.
Right, exactly. The looping fall was very funny. I learned after I played the game that I could have pressed stop. to stop him from actually dying, but because it goes on a really long time.
That's okay.
It definitely almost asks for you to intervene and type something, but instead I just laughed with a dumb smile on my face, like this is a great death stuck in a loop. But yeah, that part is super fun. Like it's it takes a few tries. It's I remember making a mental note of like this is a great way to handle dying in a game too, where modern wise you would give them an autosave at the start of the room. But ultimately it's like a good way to fail a puzzle is that you fall off and then the game just restarts you. Like I like the idea of that. And yeah, you don't need any help for it. It's just a little trial and error, but it's all worth it when you get there. And the final door is like boss level because it keeps squishing you until you realize you walk left and not back. And yeah, that was all really good.
I love that.
Yorick, Yorick was annoying and the music was annoying. I didn't like either. Yeah, just didn't like
It's just the main theme, but made circusy.
Oh man, you know what? A connection I think I'm just making right now. Is Yorick the jester of the court? Yeah.
At the kingdom.
Right, like he's the
That
king's
would make
jester.
sense, yeah.
Because they mentioned the jester earlier. Carl says even Yorick or even the jester helped out, and I think he names him. Okay, so that makes him a little less annoying because he's supposed to be annoying.
Yeah, he's supposed to be. That's his whole personality.
Right. The music was grating.
So did you figure it out? I like the music in there. Okay, so you get to the last room and, potentially you have a very quick window of operations to do a thing.
Let me try to remember, actually. So I get into the room.
It's where the brigand leader shows up. You get into the room. There's a bunch of stuff in there. You can collect some stuff. There's like some healing potions and
so I get in
a mirror, which you have to pick up.
I get in there and you immediately are confronted with Elsa and you have to throw the potion at her, which took 2 tries because give didn't work. So that's not bad. And then she turns into regular Elsa and this is one of my, I think my only negative note. My wording is I'm not crazy about saving her and she bails with Yorick. I feel like the writing wise they should have handled that differently because it feels really insulting. Like to go through this like epic quest and everything you do and you get to the girl and you free the girl from this enchantment that's enslaved her for the last decade and she's like I'm gonna fuck off with the jester. Good luck getting home alive. Like I really didn't like that. It didn't feel like I get it that
that's why you need to play the 5th one. The 5th one it doesn't really start getting sexual until the 5th game. Not really. Because then you can talk about marriage and there's flirting and there's the whole other dynamic to it.
I mean, okay, that's noted, first of all. But it's like I didn't do.
I'm going to push the 5th one pretty hard, so you know.
But it's like I wasn't looking for her to like reward me. I was just looking for her to just take me with her. Like why is the gesture being the one you can't?
She can't because you have to still pick up a few things after
she's
gone to
that's
finish
why I
the
critique
game.
the writing. Like I don't like that they wrote themselves into that direction where because I get exactly
that makes sense.
Yeah, you get exactly why the game's doing it, but it's like I'm just not crazy about that. It feels like, and it also feels a little anticlimactic too. Like you make your way all the way to the girl and you do the right thing and she's like, I'm going to fuck off. Good luck. And it's like, wow, jeez.
Did you know to do what you were supposed to do after that? Or did you just go back to the castle?
I didn't think it was that hard because she tells you that there's a mirror that you have to get. So I went and got the mirror and I got the food and then I died 2 or 3 times trying to find where to leave. And even that wasn't that hard because I remember in hindsight once I finally got it, I'm like, oh, right, this is where Yorick walked through.
Right, yeah.
So if you just exit where he came in. So yeah, I didn't think that was all that hard. If she didn't say there was a mirror, then yeah, I wouldn't have, whatever. But yeah, she's like, you need to get the mirror. You get the mirror, you leave where Yorick came in. So that wasn't so bad. I did die 2 or 3 times because of the timing of it, but still,
right.
Yeah.
And then you went to Baba Yaga.
Yes, that's right. Then you go to Baba Yaga.
Because you can accidentally miss, like, essentially one of the puzzles at the end of the game, totally forget about Baba Yaga and just finish the game, so.
You can finish the game without doing that?
Yeah.
Interesting. How's that work out?
I don't remember. I just remember forgetting to do it and finishing it once, so it's not been verified. But
Right.
definitely you're supposed to. You're supposed to go there and you're supposed to use the mirror.
Yes. Right, exactly. And I'm trying to remember if I needed help for that or if I think I had already deduced.
There was clues.
Yeah, it's like and the overarching narrative in my head was free the boy, free the girl, deal with the witch who started it all. So it's like working within that framework. So it's like, okay, we got the bear boy is free, Elsa's free, now go deal with the witch. And yeah.
Because, that's just like when I was growing up, my grandmother was from Russia. So we had all these old fairy tale books, Russian fairy tale books. Some of them were picture and some of them were in a big textbook. And the main theme throughout all of them, other than death, sadness, and beating your wife, which was common through all of them, was Baba Yaga, of course. So as soon as this game came out and Baba Yaga was in it, I was like, this game was made for me.
Right.
Like, it had to have been. How could it have been made for anybody else? I mean, Baba Yaga's already my favorite. And that's why I commissioned a coworker of mine at the time to make Baba Yaga and to make the hut on chicken legs as represented by the game. And it was such an important part of the lore to me.
Right, to have her involved. She felt like personal to you. Mm-hmm. Right, I can see that too, especially if it's a character that, like, you know intimately well and have a connection with your grandmother with, but it's not like a widely known character in your own pop culture.
Exactly.
So it feels intimately your own. It was just like... Yeah.
So that, and I mean the puns. There was a pun or two. Did you notice there was a pun or two in the game, Paul?
I did. There was less puns than I was braced for. Believe it or not, having spent some time working for the Coles, I was expecting an onslaught, and this wasn't too bad. I suspect it'll get punnier as we go.
Oh my God, I want you to play the second one, or at least watch me play the second one so bad.
Man,
oh my God, I want you to be a voyeur on my epic journey of Quest for Glory. That's actually, that must be it. So I'm like, I don't even want to stream it. You just got to watch me play it so you can see how awesome it is from my perspective.
She keeps trying to cuck me into watching her play. It's crazy.
It's true. It's true. That's all right. We'll see. At least I'll make you watch me play the fifth one. That'll be one you probably
why don't we do that?
Watch.
Why don't we do that? That'll be the one that I watch.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. So yeah, there it is. And I mean, then you return to the castle, you get the Hero of the Realm title. And it's great fun because as a speedrunner, if you finish the game and you skip all of that and you get to the very end of the game, they all still cheer you on as being the most epic hero. And you're like, I didn't help any of you.
I just got here.
But I just got here. But the way that we played it, of course, we got it. I didn't get final score of 500 of 500. I don't remember what I had, but it wasn't that.
I did good. I think I got 422, maybe.
Yeah.
Something like it was better than I thought it was going to have been.
That's not bad.
Okay, quick.
They.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, they ended up doing the VGA remake, and a lot of people really liked it, and some people go back to it as their favorite. And it does give you a lot of the lines of text that you missed because you didn't know to ask that question of that person. So it kind of shows you a whole hidden aspect, the whole world of the game you didn't know. But it also cost almost 3 times as much as the original game. So, yeah, the original one... Yeah, it's just, and I mean, that's including all of the development, all of the everything, and they weren't even starting from scratch. So, and also the very first game in the series was one of the most successful games to date. They had brought in they had sold like 500,000 copies. It was one of the most successful adventure games ever sold, ever. So the disappointment of the VGA game, as well as like the disappointment in sales from the second game due to the name change, kind of hurt the series in a few different ways. And I'm just so pleased that they were able to continue making the games after that, even with those disappointments, which goes to show a lot of the freedom that Ken sort of gave to them to do their own thing. Because honestly, they weren't even people that made games, right? It was right out of the blue. It's like, oh, you get a phone call, your friend's doing animation work for Sierra, and they're like, hey, you guys like RPG games, what do you think about making a game? And it just sort of flowed so naturally. So it's not like Lori and Corey were going around making games. It was like actually based on their entirely unpublished tabletop system. So it wasn't even like fully based on a D&D that they had played. They created this privately, like on their own. And it was this whole skill-based system. And they essentially took it and replicated it in the Quest for Glory game, which is a lot of what gives it its flavor and why there's nothing else quite like it.
Mm-hmm. What's adorable about the Coles is that they met exactly where you would think they would have met, which is at a D&D meetup, that's just super cute. What you were saying earlier about
adorable.
The VGA version, that's I think that was like one of our biggest takeaways from when we did the comparison series of EGA versus VGA.
Yeah.
Actually, we should do that with this one because
Actually, let's do that for the next comparison, actually. Yes, since
it's
I
the
have
only
it
one
fresh
left,
in your
I
mind
think.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the only comparison we have left. So we'll circle. I don't know. Let it cool off for a month or three, and then come back to it and play the VGA version.
And then there's Hear Me. Right, this week, next week, what, when?
Well, because if we're gonna stay on Quest for Glory train, I don't know. I'm not gonna commit on air because this does take a long time, and it's not like other games because this game is too important to you for me to play quickly through. Like I really want to be able to give each one of the games, a 12+ hours, give it its fair due, and give it a chance, not just like walk through it in 4 hours so I can say I did, so we can talk about it on the show, but I'd rather. Find make the time for it and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the point is, what you were saying about the VGA version was one of our takeaways from the comparison shows, because it's like, I remember it with Police Quest specifically, finding Police Quest so much funnier than I've ever thought it was, just because it invites you to look at more things because it's easier. You can just look at the plant, look at the tree, look at the ground. Like you just click the eye icon on anything you can see. And I didn't realize that, I shouldn't say funnier, but I didn't realize how much flavor text there was in Police Quest until playing the VGA version, because it became so effortless to just look around a room. So yeah, I could see the plus side of that. Even though it's not a fun looking game, I know I'm harsh on it, but it has the same look as Longbow. It just has that brown featuring green look that those games had. And Urena's Peace is such a shame. Like I might have lost Anna. I'm going to keep on this point though.
No, you're still here. It's
Okay.
just I have construction happening. I'm trying to mute so that I don't hurt our poor listeners.
Urena's Peace in the VGA version looks terrible. It's just like a regular tree in another forest scene. Like, it's so disappointing they didn't bring in any of the color. It doesn't have the magical vibes that, yeah, whatever. There's a lot of nice things about the VGA too, though. The portraits are good.
Yeah, it'll be good. As I said, the flavor text will be good. Yeah, we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Quick fire notes. Polka dotted death when you eat too many mushrooms was a funny line. I like that. I like that you're allowed to eat one mushroom too. That was very cool of them. That was very reasonable. Lori's like, look, you can have a little trip. Don't take too much. That was fun. You get you died a polka dotted death, which is a great line. There's a mucking the stall montage that is great, and it takes me back. Frankly, I've spent a lot of time mucking stalls in my life, so it was cathartic.
It's my alarm clock, that noise. Now you finally
nice.
get
Now
it.
I
The
know.
noise
Okay.
when he's cleaning the barn is my alarm clock, so that I know you're going to have to work your ass off today for very little money, and you're going to have very little stamina, but get on it anyways, because that's what life is.
Have some fun while you're doing it. Very good. I like how the music pauses for him to take a breath and wipe his brow, and then the music continues right away. It's very good. Again, that's like some of the
I
passion
love that.
project-y stuff. There's just little bits of love in absolutely everything. And okay, the mandrake. When you take the mandrake, it says its scream sounds like that of a dying child. Which, Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
Lori, take it easy. That was, I mean, it'd be one thing to be like it screamed when you pulled it, but it was like child. Like it sounds like a dying child. Like holy shit, that was dark. Bonehead's reaction when you give him eyes is really funny. Because it's like it just took me by surprise. He's like, that's what you look like? That was fun.
That's why I've always thought, I wonder if like Murray was at all based on Bonehead, because it was a little after too. So
I would hate to kind of piss off Murray fans because there's a lot of them, but I did actually enjoy Bonehead a little more. He made me laugh a few times. Precisely 2 times, but there's also less of Bonehead than Murray. I don't know. I was expecting more from Murray by the time I got to him. which is
I wanted to be able to take him and put him in my pocket and bring him with me as my fellow adventure game friend.
Yeah, exactly. Like I really like Murray at the end of the game when you choose the whatever reward over him at the carnival. But anyway,
Yeah, me too.
goblins as pussies. I wrote down they drop pretty easily when you have maxed out.
Oh yeah,
stats.
if you're a fighter and you go into, where the goblin party is, where all the goblins are hiding in the bushes.
Yeah.
If that
A very weird scene, yeah.
I love that. So if you go in as a fighter, first one goblin will fight you, and then two, and then they'll come at you in groups of goblins until you hit like 8 or 10 of them, and then you've made it through the cycle of them. So each time you fight them, there's more of them.
See, that makes more sense though, because I found that room to be very strange. I'm like, what is going on with this whole setup? So and that's the answer, that more happens in a different class.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Definitely, it's there for that. And then sometimes you'll be like, oh, no, he must have lost at the poker game. He didn't have any money in his pockets.
Yeah.
Because, you search their pockets when you did do that,
that
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
that I did. That took me a little bit of time too, but I did eventually get there with that one. It wasn't until I took the Cheetah's Claws that I was like, what else can I be taking from these guys? And then I find out that they all have money. Well, all the
I
goblins
think
and humans.
Each class takes you in the direction it's meant to go. Like if you're a paladin class, you have to do good. You have to bring your honor up in the real world. If you want to get into the wizard class, you have to see how the world is all about magic. And if you want to be a chief thief, it's the same. So, and I mean, there's growth to it. Like you can become from, like for example, a fighter into a paladin at the end of the second game. But you don't know that necessarily. You might not have it happen to you till the third game or even the fourth game. And then you get like healing spells and, things, even though you were just a fighter before. It's really about sort of self-growth and responsibility and wisdom. And they kind of, they implied all of it in the original documentation for the game. It was kind of the whole reason for going to the School of Heroes in the first place. So like the identity of the game and what you're trying to go for is right there in the manual before you even play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, that's all I got.
So, yeah.
It was really good.
Elsa's freed, the curse is lifted, the hero is honored, and Paul is happier than... Oh, God, you had me so worried, Paul.
I had me so worried. I was so scared not to like this game, man. I really was.
It's like Red Dead, It's like I've already put like 30 hours into the game, which is why I don't feel bad getting you to spend that much time on these games. But I'm like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to do all the side quests. I'm going to get every last bit that I can get out of this game so that when I talk to Paul about it, I'm really going to have something to say about it.
Good, and thank you for that. And I appreciate that the sentiment I was getting at earlier with not wanting to rush through it, because I do think we should do the second game soon. Because it's nice to have new games to talk about.
Man,
I think
I'm down.
I think our game episodes are usually... frankly, it's just hard to come up with ideas. So doing an episode on a game is always easiest, and they tend to do better than the other ones. So it's kind of what everybody wants. But I'm in the dev hole right now with Phantom Fellows Day 8, and I'm having a ton of fun with that. So I think I just need to get a little more out of my system, and then play a little more game. But yeah, we'll come back at you guys with Quest for Glory 2 shortly. We'll make our way through the series and then circle back and do a comparison and yeah.
Those are all the things I want to hear. Oh my God. I just need to take a minute. Okay, great.
Long story short, as soon as I could turn off the RPG stuff, I had a great time. It's a really good adventure game. I'm super excited that I can suck on a blue frog and do the same thing right for the next one. We'll cross the third bridge when we get there, but
that's okay. The third one's fine. Actually, the third's an overhead map. It's a different setup entirely, so you'll be fine. Lori wrote the third one. There's literally nothing but one extra quest for the thief to get in the whole game, though. It's very much a narrative game more than anything.
Oh, good. My favorite. Okay.
Yeah, you'll like that. So it'll be good. It'll be good. Okay, so on the other side of things, I just want to take a minute to say thank you very much to our Patreoners who give us the motivation to keep making these episodes and make it possible for us to do so in the first place. So Gareth, Mick, Christopher, Brian, Chapman, Jeffrey, Mark, Yanis. Hey, are you new, Yanis? Nice to see you. He's a local person. I believe he lives here in Victoria. So we have adventure game fans in Victoria.
Nice.
Hoorah. And Tim Ellis. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
and we also have, I think, a couple of new joins. We have a Charles. Thanks for joining. SF. Thanks for being our new show supporter. Oh, and Chris. I know you. I've seen you in the streams with Daniel. Nice to see your name up here. So Sufficient Reason, Kaimio. We've got a few new ones there. So thanks for joining us on the Patreon side of things. We have lots of things in store that we always tell you about during the episodes. And hey, there was even new stuff in the Patreon. If you go look in there, there was a little re-up of how Paul did one of the death animations in the first Phantom Fellows game. This is not anywhere else. Nobody else has seen this. Only you guys on Patreon. Join and you can have a look at it too. It's a really cool time lapse showing how the death was made, and then you get to see the whole death scene play through. It's kind of an electrocution mixed with zombie thing. It's really cool. So we gave you a thing.
Let us know if you like that as well, because we could do tons of that stuff. I have so much of that stuff. I probably obviously, but we. We're feeling the waters / hesitating a little because it's not, the podcast related. It's more on the game side of things. But if that's cool to you guys, seeing behind the scenes development stuff, let us know. Especially now as I'm working on the next game, there's always stuff that I could, even at request, show. So yeah.
Yep, or more tiers that you can think of that it might be fun for us, or anything to sort of change it up. Always love ideas. It doesn't matter whether we do it or not, we're going to read all of them.
We got to do the poll with shortest journey, longest journey, and fucking the other one, Siberia, Gabriel Knight 3, and possibly a fourth one, and then we're going to have you guys pick which one.
I need to finish the second Gabriel Knight too, though. We are behind in games, Paul. It is fair. We are behind in games a little.
Yeah, true. Okay, well,
because we also need to do Freddy Farkas, so...
Maybe you could do Gabriel Knight 2 while I do Quest for Glory 2, unless you wanted to refresh. I mean, I know you're going to want to play Quest for Glory, but,
Yeah, maybe I'll just throw Gabriel Knight 2 on now.
Right, because I would
sort of
like
have
to
it
do...
primed.
I kind of want to do Clock Tower for Halloween. I know we had said Gabriel Knight 2 for Halloween, but if you could play Gabriel Knight 2 before Halloween, then maybe we could both do Clock Tower at Halloween.
Shout out to Paul Daniels, who's been doing the Ladies' Night art. The one that he did for Clock Tower was inspirational. I loved it. Yeah. If you want to find out more, or if you want to write to us, maybe shout out an email to us and tell us something you'd like to see on the Patreon. That would be cool. Are you trying to say something?
I was breathing weird.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. No, just I went into deep thought when you said. I just wanted to double your thank you to Paul Daniels too, because when I saw that is what that was inspirational. I was like, that's not only is that the name of the game that I always blank on what the name is, but also we should play that for Halloween. So yeah, thank you to Paul.
Yeah. No, very, very cool. So otherwise email us some of that stuff. mail@cggpodcast.com, or join us on Facebook. We're a page, we're a group. The Classic Gamers Guild, oddly enough, is the name that we're going with. Instagram and YouTube, it's the same thing. So thanks for tuning in.
And thank you to Michael Locke for an awesome email again. They're very fun. We're gonna have Michael on soon. Actually, we'll have Michael on very soon because he's got a few topics for us that are really fun, and they will be. That would be, weeks in which playing a game isn't going to work out. Like that should be, that'd be a good aim. So that was all clunky, but somebody understands. Okay,
let's lock it in.
Yeah. Oh my God,
I'm
Jesus
sorry.
Christ! Don't do murder.
Taste that much better. I mean, it would if I added sugar to it, but that sort of supersedes the point.
I think the point is that celery is a burden upon us.
It is very stringy. You can floss your teeth while you're eating a snack. I mean, that's a multi-purpose food.
It gives me like this cringy... Ugh. It's like one step down from like nails on a chalkboard. The texture of the stringiness when you pull it between your teeth. Ugh.